Hello. Today I'm here in the beautiful Sespe Wilderness area near my home in Ojai, California. And I want to share with you a really amazing discovery that I've made recently about how you can use the pendulum to determine your health level or the level of health of another individual and how it relates to the seasons through the year. In Hermeticism, there's this concept as above, so below. And I want to show that the cycles of nature are reflected in our health, both in the long term and on a daily basis. This information is extremely useful if you're doing healings or if you want to check your own health. And so I want to show you how you can do this with a pendulum very simply using some charts that I've created. Here's a chart of radiesthetic colors that I have in my book, How to Heal Yourself with a Pendulum. It goes from red to orange to yellow to green positive to blue, indigo, violet, ultraviolet, white, negative green, black, and infrared. There are 12 colors here. And when I'm doing a healing on someone, or if I want to check my own health status, I douse this chart and take a reading. So right now, I'll take a reading and see what my radiesthetic color is. It says that I'm in white, and that white is a healing color. To help explain the chart of radiesthetic colors, I want to show you a diagram. This diagram shows you the 12 signs of the Zodiac, and it shows how they play out over the course of a year. And starting here, this is the equator of the Earth. We have here the signs of the Zodiac, the 12 signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Now, I also have some figures here of some trees. So, starting over here with Aries, we have the spring equinox. We have the springtime. That's why the tree has flowers on it. Spring goes to the summer solstice. Summer proceeds to the fall or autumn equinox. Trees start to yellow and lose their leaves. And this proceeds to the winter solstice. And then the cycle continues itself over again. Now, another way we can view that same diagram is to draw it as a circle. And it's amazing because the chart of radiesthetic colors matches up very nicely with that circle that we just showed for the 12 signs of the Zodiac. So, starting here at red, we would have Aries. Orange would be Taurus. Yellow would be Gemini, green plus would be Cancer, blue would be Leo, indigo would be Virgo, violet would be Libra, ultraviolet would be Scorpio, white would be Sagittarius, Capricorn would be green negative, black would be Aquarius, and infrared would be Pisces. And I've drawn a cross on this diagram to indicate the positions of the equinoxes and the solstices. So here we have the spring equinox. Here we have the summer solstice. Here we have the autumnal or autumn or fall equinox. And here we have the winter solstice. Now, let's douse my health again. What's my radiesthetic color right now? It's white. That's showing that I'm in the fall. So what I've discovered here is that red corresponds to the egg and the sperm, to the very beginnings of life. Orange represents the embryo. Yellow represents the fetus. Babies are green plus. Children and teenagers are blue, their radiesthetic color. And then young adults are indigo, and then adults typically are between violet and white if they're healthy. Now, if a person becomes sick or ill, they head towards this region here, towards the winter. Green negative is an indication that a person is becoming ill. Black and infrared are both signs of illness. So this chart of radiesthetic colors is representing a lot of things at many levels here. At one level, it's representing the seasons, both of nature and of human life. And it also gives us an indication of where our health is at any given moment. So when I'm feeling really good, if I'm having a really good day, when I douse myself, I'm blue. If I'm got a headache or I'm feeling sick, I'll be green negative. And it's a very graphic way to illustrate it. Blue is summertime. It's Leo. It's the height of the sun. It's the strongest strength of God. Negative green, it's Saturn. It's darkness. It's the death. It's the winter. It's taking us furthest away from health. So what I've been doing here is this chart is an extremely powerful way to visualize health, and it's very simple to do this with a pendulum. So I'm going to just think of someone right now who's not doing very well, someone who's very sick, and let's see what they come out. Black. I got black. Let me think of someone who's really healthy. Blue. So when you are helping yourself or helping someone with a pendulum, one of the first things you can do is douse this chart of radiesthetic colors. And it will give you an indication of where that person is at in this moment with their health. Another extremely valuable thing is you can test things. So, for example, when I drink wine, I don't feel well afterwards, even though I enjoy drinking wine. So let me test what would happen. So what would be my radiesthetic color if I were to drink a glass of wine right now? It goes right to black. And black is in the winter time. That means that's death. That's Thanatos. Now, let me think of something healthy I could do. I want to drink if I were to drink some pure, crystal clear water that was totally healthy for me, what would my radiesthetic color be after I drink that water? Blue. To the summer. Leo. To the full flowering, the growth. So you can use this chart too to test things for you, to see whether they're good or bad for you. You know, I really enjoy drinking wine, but it's very bad for my health. It puts my radiesthetic color at black, which means that my whole system, my whole body is being pushed towards a state of disease, of death. If I were to continue to do that behavior over and over again, this would accumulate. And over time, I may not have the ability to spring back to health. Another reason this chart is extremely valuable is when you're doing a healing on someone, you won't necessarily see that they get better right away. So, for example, I was helping a person with cancer, and when I first started off, they were in infrared and black, and they were in the hospital and not doing very well. And I started doing the healings, and then after a while, when I took a reading, it indicated that the person was in white. And it confused me at first because the person still was in the hospital. So what happened though was that I learned that shortly afterwards the person had a really dramatic recovery. They were released from the hospital. Before this point the doctors thought this person was going to die. So the pendulum showed me that though. It showed me that even though you couldn't see it in the physical world yet, this person had had a healing and that they were getting better. So this dowsing chart is an extremely valuable tool that you can use as a healer to determine what effect your healing is having on an individual. So I just want to summarize here and say that this chart of radiesthetic colors, which can be found in the Pendulum Healing book I wrote, How to Heal with the Pendulum, on Kindle, is an extremely valuable chart if you're doing healings for people using the pendulum. And it's also an extremely valuable chart if you want to check your current health status. I also think it's extremely important from a philosophical perspective because it really confirms the Hermetic idea of as above, so below. The cycles of nature that are happening on large scales are also happening within us on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, on a lifelong basis. These cycles are playing out over and over again, moment to moment. We go through these different stages. And it's just a profound revelation that I wanted to share with you, with all of you here today. Well, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot today. If you have questions, please feel free to write a comment below or send me an email. My website is erichhunter.com. Thank you. Have a great day.